It's another Manly Monday, and this Manly Monday I'm recording while I am still sick. So bear with me, but I gotta get it done. And I also, managed to bruise myself with my handy dandy clipboard by holding it against a particular part of my midsection too much. Of course, I poke myself in the midsection, as if you can see down there. You cannot. So we're gonna get through this together, right? We are talking about, the ups and downs of male ego. It's necessary, but can also screw you up. And I say this with sympathy because, I said I'd talk further about the stuff that we talked about on Friday. Because, when all these comments were like, women are pickier. And I just, because I want guys to win at life. And I see guys say that, and it's like, bro, that is a riz-free move, saying that, right? Like, if you think it's true, right, if you are a believer in evolutionary psychology, you still don't say it. And I'm going to talk about why, in a way that is non-judgmental, intending to help, not just beat guys up, because there's been enough of that. If you like this content, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/LeannaK, or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it, coffee.com/LeannaK, or you can sign up for a Leanna Care session, or you can check out my Redbubble store. There is Beelzebub merchandise in the Redbubble store. Okay, so ego, I want to define it because ego has two meanings. There's he has a big ego, but there is also the Freudian idea of a constructed self. And both these fall into play. Men, because as we talked about on Friday, are traditionally the pursuers in relationships. They are the ones that do the asking. There is a constructed persona that can be quite helpful in creating confidence, in creating a structure for behavior. But then there is also that, idea of a constructed self that is fragile and can be shattered and is extremely vulnerable. And both of these things are two sides of the same coin, two facets of the same diamond, whatever cliche you want to talk about. And this comes down in microcosm to these comments of, women are just pickier, right? Because we all see that. Well, let's start at the beginning. Okay, say you're right. Say you're right that women are just pickier. Too picky. Oh my God, they turn guys down for anything. Okay, let's assume it's right. Do you want a girlfriend? Then shut your mouth. I know that's harsh, but it's true. Like, if you want a girlfriend, don't say that. Women can see you. Women can hear you. It doesn't matter how much anonymity you use. Women can smell that shit. If you are predicting rejection, that will make you awkward. And you being awkward will make her awkward. Well, what if you're actually awkward? You can make that work for you. Look at Huey on The Boys. If you want to see how to be awkward and still get women, look at The Flash, like Grant Gustin's Flash, or Jack Quaid's Huey. Then my mic stand is being awkward. Apologies. See, I make screwing things up work for me. Because I spend my life around much more attractive people. And they like me. Because I am not painfully insecure. And when you go, women are just picky, you come across as insecure, because the only people who have a problem with that are people who don't think they're going to get picked. And that's just the cold, hard truth. Well, say if you don't want a girlfriend, then why do you care? And that's the problem. Making comments like that makes you seem not only like you think you're not going to get picked, but you're desperate to get picked. And so the comment makes you seem both desperate and insecure. It comes across as you deflecting the belief that you're not going to get picked. And that is too painful. You can't accept the fact that Well, you're going to be some people's cup of tea and you're not going to be other people's cup of tea. You can't handle that. So you're blaming women for being picky instead of going, yeah, some people are going to be into me, some people aren't. And here's the truth, right? That's true of everybody. Think of the most attractive guy you can possibly think of, like, you know, BTS or Jason Momoa or Timothy Chalamet or who's the other, Kit Harington or Brad Pitt or, you know, just Johnny Depp, just run down the line. I mean, look at Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp, big heartthrob, ended up in a super shitty situation. We don't win them all. Nobody does. Get that out of your head. It's a mind flayer, right? It's this tentacled monster who will eat your brain. Just stop thinking about this hierarchy. Because look at Pete Davidson, right? Pete Davidson gets lots of women. No one can figure it out, but Pete Davidson's funny. He's probably charming. He's charming in that awkward way, right? The minute you have a profile, people don't believe me, I'm going to say it again. Women will find anyone attractive. It's all how you sell yourself. They may not admit it, and just because they find you attractive doesn't mean they're going to date you. If you're a collection of red flags, like saying shit like women are picky, that doesn't mean they don't find you attractive. You were just attractive. Oh, he's kind of cute in an awkward, dorky kind of way. Oh, he said that next. Right? Trust me. I've got your back. I'm here for you. I'm trying to give you the good shit that MRA channels won't tell you because they want you to fail so you will keep coming back and consuming their content. That's the dark truth of the manosphere. And here's the thing. Charm is it's not just about knowing what to say. It's about knowing what not to say. I mean, that moment in the debate that went viral with Kamala Harris going, that former president, that pause, it was probably rehearsed. My guess is it was. My guess is they were preparing for that moment, and instead of going, this former president, they said, act like you really want to call him a motherfucker and don't. So in her head, she goes, this, she thinks it, so her face shows that she's thinking something and not saying it, and then that former president, but it's effective. Because every woman understands thinking something but not saying it. Even the most outwardly bombastic woman you know understands there are some things you think and cannot say. I say all the time, if you think a situation or a group is actually sexist, you can't actually say, that's sexist as a woman, because they'll go, fuck off, bitch. It's sexist. You're not going to win, right? So if you think the girl is picky and you like her, don't say she's fucking picky. That insults her. Because what? She's like, what? I'm not good enough to have standards? That's what you're going to get. I'm trying to help, okay? Women live in a world of the unsaid. So showing that self-control, not only, you're not going to just screw yourself up before you think you even have a chance, but it also makes you understand a bit more of what women go through and why women are picky. Because women are looking for men with self-control. Women are looking for a man who can hear the word no. Because the big fear in a woman's life is she's going to say, I'm not into this, and a man's going to become violent. Is it as common as women think it is? No. The vast majority of men can take no for an answer, and I say this as somebody who witnessed a domestic assault like less than 2 weeks ago. Like in person, guy couldn't take no for an answer, threw his partner against the wall. Right? Even though that's fresh in my head, I know most guys aren't like that, but if you experience that, you know it's very real and you want to avoid it. If you want to call that picky instead of self-preservation, you're not going to be marked safe, right? And you don't just want to be safe, you want to be interesting. And you want to seem understanding. And you want to seem like you understand the idea of emotions and not seem terrified of them. And we get into the whole emotionally unavailable man. I'm not going to get into that now. Those norms are changing rapidly. And those norms differ from woman to woman. But every woman has that danger sensor. And if you're coming across as judgmental, and if you're treating as a pejorative women being selective, it's going to take you out of contention. Because women, keep in mind, women are trained to believe that unless they're super gorgeous and cultured and all the perfect things, no man's going to want them. And no matter how much women put on a front otherwise, that is in there somewhere. No matter how much body positivity she spews, no matter how much, look at Stalker Chan. What does she go after? I'm old, fat, and ugly. Because that is getting down in the dirt in girl world. And there's an example of she calls me that, but she's doing it to be nasty. Which means those are the things that hurt her. Every criticism, every barb you throw tells people what bothers you. It's true, no matter how much you want to deny it. Whereas that's why you'll notice when I talk about things, I do not get down and dirty when I'm talking about Anita Sarkeesian. I don't respect her views, but it's like, she's an attractive woman. You know, was very successful for a period of time. You know, she built something. Didn't work out long term, but still, you know, she got in the arena. Tip my hat to that. That cost me nothing. That shows you're not just going to be malicious and vindictive because somebody's attacking you. And that's attractive in women. That's attractive in men. I don't care what anybody says. The ability to go, you know what? That person's being petty and I ain't gonna match it. That's the secret to, no matter what you look like, barring basic hygiene, right? Make sure you're clean. You know, take care of your appearance, but you don't have to be that Henry Cavill. I can't believe I left Henry Cavill off that list off the top. I don't know, man. Like, Henry Cavill's the one dude on that whole list. Maybe Jason Momoa. But Henry Cavill's a dude that I would actually want to hang out with. And maybe that's why I don't, like, list him among the hot guys thing. Because he actually seems cool, right? Like, he likes Warhammer and building PCs and playing video games. Like, World of War. Like, not just like, oh, I played Madden. No, he missed the call that he got Superman because he was playing World of Warcraft. That shit matters, right? Like, all right, there's a person there, not just a conventionally attractive package. But again, Pete Davidson, like Vern Troyer, the guy who played Mini-Me in, the Austin Powers movies. He's got mad women, no shortage for women. There is a woman who will find you attractive as long as you don't physically stink and you don't stink in personality. And when you're doing shit like putting out women are more picky energy, it's not helping you. And you know what? Anything that, I see guys going on about 80% of women pick to 20% of men. All right, but y'all are the same guys going digital video game characters who are supposed to be like rebel smugglers aren't hot enough for your tastes. So it's the same. Don't complain about it. Don't state it if it's terribly important. Because, okay, 80%, that means 20% won't. And you only need one, right? You're not looking to burn through women like, they're Imodium after bad Mexican, right? If you don't know what that reference is, look up Imodium. It's a anti-diarrhea pill. Mexican food, not Mexican people, right? No cannibalism. But you don't want a woman who's constantly going, men are this and men are that and men are garbage and oh my God, men just don't respect women. And see, I immediately go in the Valley Girl voice because that's what we all hear. Was like, oh my God, everything sucks, right? It's no different. Don't be the male equivalent. Like, just think it if you want, but challenge the thought. Because if you really believe, if it is true that women are pickier, it's, scientifically, it's whoever does the approaching is less picky. And that's not because they're lowering their standards. No. This fundamentally misunderstands where the pickiness comes from. And this is the good shit. If you survived till this point in the video, you get a treat now. Because this is an insight. If you read the paper I posted on Friday, it actually gets into the fact that people who are more confident are less selective. And being the one to approach actually made women more confident, feel more confident in the experiment. Because they had to think, I could do this, to be the one that sat down. Like, think about when Kamala Harris walked across that debate stage with Trump, came into his space and went, Kamala Harris, nice to meet you. Because they'd never met in person. The fact that she did the approach, oh, alpha fucking move. Everybody went, oh. And Trump was off his game the whole time. She came into his space, not afraid. And Kamala Harris, you didn't have to say, for the prosecution. She was in charge of that room. And that's what approaching does. As somebody who has to do it, even though I'm profoundly introverted, when it's a new client, I have to be the one to break the ice. Hi, what's your name? What are you here for? Like, I'm the one that has to drive the conversation, right? It's a life skill. And there is an element of fake it till you make it, but it's also structure. It's also mindset. And so instead of being the one that's approached and caught off guard and going, well, he's a little too good looking and charming for my fucked up ass. He can't be coming at me in good faith. What does he want? No. Right? Because it's all about the safeguarding. It's all about don't let your guard down. Don't be taken advantage of. It doesn't matter who's on the receiving end. That is the psychology for men and women alike, which is why when I approached men, I got shot down more often than I didn't. Or I got made fun of even by the men that took me up on the date. It's amazing. Every single guy that I took initiative with, or as they called it, was aggressive, made fun of me for it. Even if they took me up on it. Because there's a bit of discomfort in being the one that has to agree. You're lowering your guard. It's not on your terms. You're reacting instead of acting. That's the actual psychology behind those reactions. And it is true of men as much as it is true of women. Take it from me, because I am a profoundly introverted person that gets accused of being too aggressive because they go, hi, right? Hi, my name is Slim Shady, right? And it is just the fact that when you do the approaching, it's when you want to, or at least when you've chosen to. As opposed to being the one who's approached, you're on the spot. You have to think quickly. And most people say things and then go, why the fuck did I do that? Right? Ask any guy who's a model. I mean, I just did events where we got like really attractive women, put bat wings on them and left them at the mercy of a bunch of drunk girls, right? Like, it's when you feel like prey to the predators, it is not comfortable. And I looked for the terror in these guys' eyes to go over there and bail them out from the pack of women, like circling them like vultures or hyenas, right? Ready to consume. When you watch people in female dominant fandoms, you do see the role reversal. You do see the change in who are the ones setting the pace. And it's no different for men than women. The way society treats men versus women in those situations is very different. And that is why it's very important to recognize that it's not women are too picky or women have higher standards. It's all about the dynamics of who does the asking and who answers. Because this is at the core of why we go, oh, well, you know, when a woman gets super aggressive and super sexual with a man, it's flattering. Like, no, it isn't. It's still on the spot. Like, whoa, I wasn't ready. What do I do? Right? If we understand the true dynamics, the true psychology of this, we get into the, no, it's not okay when a woman does it to a man. It's not flattering when a woman is too forward. Right? It is the same. It is exactly the same. It is equally uncomfortable for men as it is for women. But men are not treated the same when they say, this is uncomfortable. And it's because we confuse inherent qualities that are assigned to gender with social role in these things. So if you are concerned about male victims of abuse, if you are concerned about, you know, men not getting as much sympathy when they're assaulted, you got to stop saying things like women are more picky. Because it's all part of the same gender stereotype continuum, and it ain't helping anybody. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it. Coffee.com/LeannaK. Or sign up for a Leanna Care session yourself if you want to talk one-on-one about stuff. You know, heal, grow. It's good for you. Link in the description box below. Check out the Redbubble store. Thanks for watching Manly Mondays.